10 years ago, the engine on Danny Schneider's motorbike suddenly died when he was 8 meters off the ground. He crashed and fractured his ankle. This was the end of his motocross career, and the beginning of a new one. Today, Danny brings old bikes back to life, and his so-called Hardnine choppers are world famous. Danny has appeared in several US and other international bike magazines. He recently became the first European to present one of his bikes at Moon Eyes in Japan, the biggest motor show in the world.
You ride in front of 15,000 people. I signed like 1,000 posters a day, and you just drop in a totally different world. From being in Bumplitz and order pizza at night and go to a German movie to fucking rock star again, you know.
Danny customizes vintage bikes. That means not just restoring them, but adding his own special look.
Every Sunday morning when I go to get breakfast, and in Switzerland you can't find any parking spaces, so I thought like doing this bike, and I called it Mr. Croissant. And I put like that little basket here, so you can put bread and newspaper and milk, whatever in it. This bike was in a museum in Chicago. It was an old man who owns a little like vintage bike museum. And because economy sucks, he had to sell all his bikes. And he almost cried on the phone. And I promised him to rebuild that bike like it was back in the 50s. I derosted like 360 parts and repainted them so I could really do it like the bike was before. And I sent him a picture like a week ago, and he just 5 minutes later he called me up and he was like so happy to have it. And I mean, that's a bike you can't even make street legal. I can't sell it because nobody wants a fucking race bike from the 50s. It's probably the best bike I ever did. This one right here, a friend's dad died, rest in peace, and he called me up and it was like, my dad has a bike in his garage. Well, he bought it in 1948 and just put it apart and just stored it there. So for me, it's cool to bring a bike back to the street 60 years later, and it was just sitting for 60 years in a garage, and then you bring it back to the street. And it's even respect to the guy, to his dad, to the bike, to the people who invited this technology back in the days, you know. That's the original oil tank from that BSA, and which is really cool because it showed back in the days where to get that oil. It's like Shell still exists, Energol, Mobil Oil, Castrol. So this piece will be pretty soon. We'll put it in here. So I definitely have to cut it a little bit. It'll look cool. It's a lifestyle though. I mean, riding in t-shirt and jeans and whatever, kicks, and you ride with your boys, go have a beer somewhere, you drive on the beautiful lake in Switzerland. That's just amazing.
Despite the recognition abroad, Danny is unknown in Switzerland, where there's no market for his bikes. To earn a living, he works part-time in his dad's paint business. But eventually, he wants to shift into the next gear and live where his bike business can be a full-time job.
One day, I hopefully can get the cash together and just move to the States or wherever, but just not Switzerland.
She knows when to run.